Picture the last few seconds before kickoff. The stadium lights are on. Somebody has painted their face badly. Somebody else is trying to explain offside to an uncle who has decided this is the exact moment to learn. A kid is hearing 40,000 people inhale at once. For that kid, the whole thing may become a lifelong memory before the ball is even moved. And then there is a number sitting outside the stadium gate. This week, as the World Cup moves through its knockout drama, ticket prices have become their own story. Resale prices softened after the United States and Mexico went out. At the same time, FIFA was still listing nearly 1,200 Category 2 seats for the final at $7,380 apiece. That is not a typo. It is also not just a ticket story. It is a story about what happens when a shared ritual gets priced like a rare asset. Let's be fair before we get dramatic. A World Cup costs real money. Stadiums need staff. Cities need transport, security, cleanup, planning, medical teams, broadcasting infrastructure, and 1,000 invisible jobs that only become visible when something goes wrong. Big events do not float down from the sky for free. But a price can do more than cover a cost. It can redraw the border of who gets to be inside. Pull the camera all the way back, and the World Cup is supposed to be one of the planet's great gathering places. It gives a family in Cairo, a group of friends in Kansas City, a bar in Seoul, and a night shift worker watching on a phone something to feel at the same time. That is the magic. The event is global because the feeling travels farther than the building. The old Chinese classic, the I Ching, has a useful pair of ideas for this. One line says that great possession is about the crowd. Another says that fellowship is about people actually being joined. Those are not the same thing. You can have a giant crowd without real belonging. You can also have belonging without access to the giant crowd. That tension is all over this tournament. A packed stadium looks like unity on television, but television does not show the people refreshing a ticket page at work. It does not show the parent doing the quiet math between flights, hotels, food, and one seat that costs more than a month of rent. It does not show the local fan who lives 20 minutes away but feels farther from the match than someone watching from another continent. This is where the idea of measure matters. In the I Ching, the word for measure is often translated as limitation. That can sound like a joyless rulebook. But the deeper point is simpler. A river needs banks, or it becomes a flood. A party needs room for people, or it becomes a private dinner with very loud advertising. Pricing is one of those banks. Set it too low, and scalpers, bots, and black markets may rush in. Set it too high, and the event becomes formally open but emotionally closed. The gate is technically unlocked. The room has just been priced out of reach. There is no magical number that fixes this. And this is not a complaint about every fan who can afford a great seat. If you saved, traveled, and bought one honestly, your joy is not less real. The question is about the system around you. What does it optimize for when demand becomes a fever? The five-phase tradition offers a surprisingly modern way to look at that system, as long as we treat it as a map and not a prophecy. Think of money as water. It flows towards scarcity and attention. Think of the match itself as fire. It creates heat, urgency, and spectacle. Think of the stadium, rail lines, ticketing platforms, and rules as metal and earth, the hard structure that either holds the pressure or passes it on. Think of the fan culture growing around all of it as wood, alive, messy, and impossible to manufacture on command. If fire gets too hot and water only chases the hottest seat, the living part can get squeezed out. The chants become content. The crowd becomes a background texture. The people who made the tournament feel dangerous, funny, local, and human are left with a perfect high-definition view from somewhere else. Now, none of this means the World Cup has lost its soul. Far from it. Watch a group stage upset, a late goal, or a fan welcoming a team home after a painful loss. The soul is stubborn. It keeps finding the gaps. It lives in public watch parties, in cousins arguing over lineups, in someone learning the words to an anthem they do not speak every day. But soul should not have to survive by accident. The smartest tournament is not the one that extracts the most from a moment of peak emotion. It is the one that understands that the next generation of fans is not a marketing segment. It is the kid who gets inside once, looks around, and thinks, "This belongs to me too." That is the difference between a crowd and a community. The final will come. Someone will lift a trophy. The stadium will empty. The temporary signs will come down, and the resale tabs will close. What lasts longer is a quieter question. When the world's game came to town, did the world get to be there? That question is worth more than any seat number.